To call to order our special call meeting this morning, Monday, March 29th. Ron, let the record show we've got Mr. Griffin, Mr. Walston, myself, and Mr. Brown in attendance. Ms. Vial is on the way. We do have a quorum present. This time, I'll see if there's any adjustments to our agenda. I guess everybody has received our agenda at this time. Entertain a motion to accept.
I move we accept.
All right. Motion by Mr. Walson, second by Mr. Griffin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. We'll head right into our discussion item, which is the softball and baseball field construction related issues. Dr. Thigpen, do you want to start?
Sure. We had, on Tuesday, last Tuesday, the 23rd, we accepted bid proposals for the baseball and softball complex. There's kind of two issues to look at. Number one, there was one component of the bid process that we referred to Colin concerning identifying the subcontractors. And then the other thing that we're here to have a discussion about is the cost of the project. It is more than we were planning. So we're here to discuss those items, and I guess we want to begin with Colin talking about the matters. Would you like for Colin to share his insight on the bid process?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
All right. So the basic issue is that the winning bidder didn't conform with the statutory requirements in submitting all their qualifications. It's just a technical error, but under the statute, it's inarguable that they didn't do what they needed to do. And so their bid is kicked out. And so after that, we have two options. We can wait 7 days and then we can rebid it. Or we can take the next lowest qualifying bid, which I think is about $40,000-ish more money in this case. So those are our two options. Or in rebidding it, we can adjust what we're looking for based on cost. So I guess it's kind of three issues. Three choices. You could rebid it revised, you rebid it the same, or you can accept the next qualifying lowest bidder.
Yeah, Colin, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I know I don't like the idea of going with the number two. That's just how I've always thought. I believe that with the prices that I think the lowest was 2.82. I believe we need to look at revising the plans and rebidding. I see some cost savings in these plans, and we'll discuss with the board before we move further. But I'd like to hear from Dr. Thigpen and Melissa as well, as far as our finances and where we're at with this, and can we even sustain it? So
We asked Melissa to look, and Melissa, will you share with them kind of where we're at?
Based off the expenditures that we've already incurred with the abatement of asbestos and tearing down the two buildings that were there, we're left with $2.9 million and some change. There's $38,000 remaining for the current phase of engineering cost. That's also included in that 2.9. The purchase order has $138,000 incurred for two upcoming phases, but the contract does allow us to cancel those two phases. So we're at $2.9 million, but that doesn't leave you guys any room to play. Most of the time with capital projects, you're gonna have change orders and things of that nature, and there is no funds if you want to change anything.
So inside of the 2.9, we've also got to carry the, design and engineering fees as well, right?
You've already paid $103,000 of that, and for this phase, there's $38,000 remaining, but if he were to, include anything beyond the contract, yes, we'd have to check this out.
So the 100 is already taken out.
Yes, sir.
That 38 you mentioned before is out of that,
Yes.
we
that-
paid that.
Yes.
We
Well, we
paid,
haven't paid it, but we've accounted for full thing.
we paid 103.
We paid 103, and there's 38,000 remaining to be, in the contract.
So, I mean, that's what it all boils down to. Our lowest bid at this price, I understand where Colin's at, we probably can't take number one, the low man. But his bid, the low bid was 2.82, and we got a budget of 2.9. So there's,
We can't, did I hear it wrong? We can't rebid it? They can't rebid it?
that's what I want to suggest to everybody, is going back and taking some things out of this and trying to get these prices down and rebid it completely. I mean, it won't be a, 1 month turnaround. I mean, we can bid this thing fairly quick and just take out some of these things that I believe are over the top. So, for example, I could go into some things, but I know they've got sod. I understand the ball fields are going to be sod, but they've got sod everywhere else on this entire site. I think that could go into just regular seed. The warning track, that's something that could be deleted. We've got 4 batting cages on this site, and the batting cage that's a pretty big expense as well with concrete, and I just see some cost savings here. Do we need a 2-story press box? I don't know. I don't know. You are kind of a baseball and softball. But prices get kind of high when you go into the 2-story type thing. So.
What was our projected bid last summer? Do you have that in the packet? For what we thought, what the ball field was gonna cost? You know what I'm asking, but we basically approved the plan 10 months ago, right?
6/29, we told Tim he could move forward with phase.
But then we have projected cost.
He gave us a projection recently when we opened bids of 2.2. And then in the prior discussion, we were like thinking 1.8 or something. That was very early on.
I think I don't know how, if it was ever spoken or written, but I think our goal was to try to come in under 2, wasn't it, Myron? I thought we had mentioned that. Maybe I'm wrong.
With what you just said, we probably could get it down closer to that amount. I mean, just in reference to the press box, just elevate it a little bit higher with one level as opposed to, so in other words, larger platform, bottom.
Do we need a concession stand?
Yeah, I think so. Personally.
do we need to take time? Well, I know we want it done as quick as possible, but do we wanna go back to, can we do this ourselves, or do we need more people, like Ms. Y'all or whoever that's more familiar with it? Your coaches to look at it, see if there's anything we can do it out, or can we make that call here with her help? Shamata, I'm sorry.
I'm probably the wrong person to ask that though.
Okay.
I want everybody to be aware of what I always been preaching about general statutes, and just the board be aware that, you know, this technicality, not following that general statute, called us to be here. I mean, so they're all very important when we follow. I mean, I'm a big guy talking about general statutes, if you already know that. You see how it come back and bite somebody. So I'm a big fan of general statutes. This guy did what he's supposed to do. So he's actually supposed to win the bid. Because he did follow the rules. Second, I'm a huge baseball fan. I coach. I probably don't visit more fields than anybody besides Dr. Dave Bingham. I think Trey played a lot of baseball. And I see these talking around fields. I see this, and I just see the ease of it. Was in Georgia this past summer. It's seen a field with turf on it. Just seeing how nice it was. No lawnmowers, no dirt, no dragging the fields. It rained 3 inches in less than an hour. I went back to the hotel because I figured we were going to be canceled. We was playing in 20 minutes. So I see the technology and the nicing of the field. I'm like, hey, I want that here. You know, I see this field. If hey, let's go today and let's move forward. I seen the struggles. My wife was in a wheelchair. I seen my struggles to get her up to the seat every night in the old field. So is there anything that I can see taken out? I might say no, because I see her struggle getting up there. You know, I see the concrete, I see the sidewalk. So I'm like, hey, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Yeah, I know prices is high. I understand Billy said projected last year on prices. 2x4s last year was $2. This year today, right now, they're $8. So that cost from last year probably already doubled from this year. These are insurance funds, right?
Yes, these are insurance.
In my opinion, it's not costing the taxpayer anything, it goes to insurance. And if we're using these funds, let's do it right now. We won't have to do it again 20 years down the road. Because now if we got to tear up something to put it back in where we could have did it now, it's gonna still be that cost 10 years down the road. Myron said he can find some cost savings stuff. Yeah, don't take my one try. I mean, again, I'm probably the wrong guy to ask about this because I understand baseball field and I understand what has been put in this field. I understand that, you mean, I never seen a one level press box. I always seen them up high. I mean, there's something about baseball that press box is up high. And they just gets Mr. Parker to commentate and see the whole field. And again, I don't know. I mean, paved road going into the school, no. I see my wife box all over the van trying to get down there. So again, I'm the wrong person to ask. Good luck. Now I'm ready to vote and say, let's go ahead and build this field. And I got a junior, a sophomore, that I want to be able to play on this. Again, I'm the wrong person to ask. So that's just my 2 cents worth.
I do know from experience that if you decide not to build something, usually that falls to the coaches and the community to build it later. Most of the time, I mean, if we don't put down a warning track, the baseball coach will have to put them down later. So that I wouldn't, if I were going to do it, I would want to do it right. Yeah. Because I would look at ways to save money if I could, but
This could be hard. Looking at this, look at the irrigation system. They tell you how to drag a water hose out there like we do every year. You would say put the irrigation system out there.
See that?
We still have our reserve fund to fall back on. Do we still carry how many months reserve? Don't we have to do that 90 days, 3 months or whatever, try to, emergency type money to fall back on? Am I speaking Martian? Really, what am I talking about?
fund
Fund that, no, Yes, but don't we normally hold something,
What was it?
that much balance operating if something goes wrong, Billy? Was it 3 months or so?
We normally, in June, adopt an interim budget that carries us out to October because we don't ever know what the state county does. I mean, you're talking about a lot of different pots of money.
Yeah, the pot, or the funding you were talking about would be in Fund O2, which is your local. And at the encouragement of your auditors, this is sitting in Fund 4, which is capital money. So your reserve for your local fund is not included in this fund.
I got that, but I'm saying, okay, if we use this money, it's gonna take us down to zero, is what we're saying, all right?
But it's saying,
For the
Yeah,
insurance purpose.
What Larry's asking is he wants to know how much money we got somewhere else that we could put toward this project.
Not this project.
Well, I mean, how much we gonna have left of, if we were to accept the bid today with everything on it, we're basically gonna have nothing.
And that's what I'm saying, if we run across anything unrelated to this project. What I was gathering from what you said, everything would pretty much be depleted. I just wanted to know, would we have our ordinary, we thought we kept a reserve fund, like we could operate on for 3 months or so, emergency. Maybe I'm completely wrong, I thought I'd always heard that the county and us both carried just a fund balance to keep everything going, we'll still have that.
You have a fund balance
Right,
that's in Fund
right.
2.
Right, so, but I mean, this is, I understand this is completely separate, but what I was gathering from what you said, if anything unexpected came up, we wouldn't have anything left to play
When
with.
I said that, you wouldn't have any insurance proceeds.
Right, that's what
So
I'm
you
saying.
would,
If we
if
completely
we're only investing insurance proceeds in this project, if you have any changes, there's no additional funding.
Gotcha,
Now, yes, we still have a fund balance in Fund 2. We have a couple other fund balances, but if you're only investing insurance proceeds in this, there's no room to, change it.
okay.
we just need to leave it as is.
I didn't know if we were trying to use some of the insurance proceeds for hard times, I didn't know that, okay.
In my understanding is, since I've been here, the insurance proceeds were
Earmarked for this.
earmarked
Yeah.
specifically for this.
Gotcha.
We use a little bit of insurance funds on paving the parking lots, do we not? I don't see taking anything out. I mean, you need to get it right, just like we do with the GMAs and everything. Because it's gonna be hard to come back and reinvent and do it, add something to it. I mean, you could probably add the, batting places, whatever that was, you said it was 4 of them?
Yes,
I mean,
4 batting cages. 2
But I
baseball,
mean-
2 softball.
My experience is we ain't never gonna have the money if we don't spend it now. But we'll spend that money on something else, thinking we may do something later down the road. I say get it right. If we're gonna be covered, are we gonna be able to cover, say, with just the second bid that's on this page, we got enough money to cover all that if we accept it today?
The second bid was
Too late.
2.8. Yes,
287, I think.
you would have no, about $100,000 if anything for it.
2.874.
We were gonna have to hold them to that. No change order.
How long would it take us to rebid it?
But what you rebidding for?
I mean, get the other people to low bid back in the game.
I think we got to do that. To rebid it, with the new add-ons in there so that they can type in what they're supposed to write in. And put everybody back on some field,
Was it $90,000, a little bit less?
The difference in the two bids, the two lowest bids, $47,000.
Well, if we rebid it, being the bids are already out, probably everybody's already got public knowledge of what their bids were. There's a good chance that somebody might lower their bid and come down under it and still stick to the same plans. I mean, you may have a second bid, may want to come, $60,000 lower. And then you got whoever, Barry or whoever it was, they may want to drop theirs a little bit lower too, because they're all on us, so we may, I just put it off a couple of weeks to be able to keep the same plan and still be able to run the same money. But I don't know, that's up to the board, I don't, you know what it is now, you might not even have many people that want to do this, they want to bid back in.
So if they don't bid it, then the next bid is coming in at 4 million, come back and bite it.
But the longer we wait, the higher the prices liable to go up
That's
on
right,
construction wise. That's just like the high school was drawing that $65 million for what, but we were just lucky they held on to the bid just before everything got hit down south with the hurricane, all the construction wiped it away.
It could be good, it could be bad for the two people don't come back and bid it, and both they come in at 4 million bucks.
Who was the second bid? I can't really read.
Ooh,
You were,
Mutual.
and that's mute.
Yeah.
I don't see prices
I'm
increasing.
looking at the wrong one.
I see the prices,
You do?
I see the prices decreasing on the rebid.
But
You're right, it is,
do you keep the project the same?
just keep it as is.
Yes, that's just me and Billy agree.
so you say, we'll have $100,000, we're gonna have to dip in $100,000 out of something else to put in this project. What were you saying? I didn't understand that $100,000.
I was saying you have 2.94 left right now. So if you have to have any change orders, you only have 80-some thousand to cover a change order. You would have to
With
get,
just the insurance money.
yes.
This is about $2 million more than I thought it would cost originally. So,
Huh?
this,
Yeah, this is,
I mean, Myra and I were talking 2 years ago, we thought $750,000 was a good number.
well, yeah,
We were talking about for the ball field, we weren't talking about all the other things, but it's still high. If we had said this bid, what's the projected date, Tim, do you know?
We were looking at, outside of 8 months for completion. Once construction starts, we're looking at about 8 months without any bad weather figured in that.
Well, it's a known fact, we probably ain't gonna never, once we spend this, and probably ain't gonna let anybody be mad at us, no way, because we probably never had the money to throw, put in this again. I'm gonna let you go with the second bid today, so I would. If it comes to it, only because this has been dragging on for 2 years. And when somebody had a technicality, we had to figure it out. It looks like that we're only rebidding it, so maybe they can bid back in. And I don't know if that's fair either. I'm not saying it ain't, Colin. You got an opinion, or you've already signed off?
I'm here. I don't have an opinion, but you guys can do any of those three options. And doesn't, they're all three just as legal.
I still say a rebid. It was a very small technicality. What they're claiming. But if the pleasure of the board is to take number 2, then I'm with y'all 100%.
If we knew we could rebid it within a couple of weeks, I would wanna do that, but I don't wanna string it out too long, you know? So I just tell me to do it that way, but that don't mean everybody's gotta think like that.
It's a,
If we could do it quickly.
I would imagine if you're looking at rebidding, you're looking at a time frame of about 4 weeks.
That settles that for me then. I'm with Bill now. Going with the second highest bid. I just wish we had more wiggle room like you were talking about.
Hold them to them change orders.
There you go.
Y'all think about it, 4 weeks could mean a substantial amount of money. These prices could come in less than 2.8. Could.
Did you help bid on the trailer construction thing?
But, you know,
If you look at completion on the fields, or look at completion of the field sometime, late fall. So you're really not looking to play on these fields until the following spring anyway. So I don't know that 4 weeks would back you up and make a significant difference on actually play time in the field, or the field being ready whenever it came into use in the fields. That's what we're looking for, completion in late fall.
Most baseball programs start using it again. Start procedure.
And if this is an 8-month project, let's put it right in January, completion. Barry, for Warren, no bad weather, cause this ain't gonna like it's gonna be an inside job. It's gonna be all outdoors.
And we can legally rebid it. Since no one followed the rules, and this guy followed the rules, should he be awarded automatically, or can we legally rebid it?
So we can legally rebid it after 7 days, or we can take the second, lowest offer.
What was the third option?
Rebidding it with different, reconfiguring it, rebidding, not the same, changing the scope.
Say it again, what was the last one?
Changing the scope to try to cut costs.
Plan.
Debbie, I haven't heard you say anything. What do you think?
I'm listening.
Good with rebidding it or good with?
I could go either way, to be honest. Favor.
I can go either way too,
Yeah,
but it's just,
You can't comfortable with it.
it's a lot of money. If we could save, that would be nice, but if it's gonna take, we cannot depend on, looking for the weather in North Carolina, I don't think, to have it ready in January if we rebid, but, I mean, we're looking at time versus money.
well, it hadn't been but just, what, maybe a year and a half ago, football wanted to move the football field to inside the track. And it was gonna be like $500,000, $750,000, is that what it was? And now we're gonna be, it's just unbelievable. I'm still blown away. I mean, I guess I'm kind of overwhelmed by the cost of the project. So I don't know what to do. I mean, $50,000 really ain't a whole lot of money when you're talking $3 million, almost $3 million. So.
have we talked about it enough to move into an action then? I wanna go home and think about it.
Mine ain't gonna be, I ain't gonna know any more when I go home than I am right now.
That's
So
right.
I'm caught between a rock and a hard place, and I think we all
I am.
If we run into bad weather in January and we got that thing that close, I don't think anybody's gonna cut our heads off for having to do it the way we've been doing it for 1 month. If if we run into a month's worth of bad weather and pushes us to February, I don't think anybody's gonna knock us out with the new field sitting over there almost complete. So I think if it, with Tim, what he said a while ago, that was the only thing for me was the time. And if it's not gonna throw us off that much, maybe a month, if we get a month's worth of bad weather, that's a lot of bad weather. So if we only get 2 weeks, it's gonna put us mid-January. I would suggest rebidding it, but that's just me. I would love to try to save some money. I don't know, everybody might come in higher than they were. It's a gamble, and I'm not much of a gambler. But that's how I would go right now.
If we don't change anything on the plan, on this construction, we just put it back up for rebid, we're basically doing it for the one company that bid, we had a technicality. Is the way I look at it. If we're not doing any change orders, we're just giving him the second opportunity to redo his bid if nobody else changes.
So we giving the other $5 company to do it right. The one guy did it right. And we're denying him his bid. He did it right. And the other guy did it wrong.
If we're looking for excuses to rebid it out, then let's just rebid it out. If we're not satisfied with the second bid. Second source bid, that's what it comes down to, so I don't know.
Would that send them a signal that we need them to come off of it a little bit? I don't know. A little bit more serious about it?
But would they be able to cut costs? I mean, 4 weeks later, would they be able to cut the price?
Probably not.
I mean, how?
Give them an opportunity.
Especially with the Suez Channel being blocked up.
Don't make me flip a coin.
I'm right there with you.
That looked very responsible.
Just that play, just, why they didn't sell anything to our contract administrators during the bid phase. Hey, you didn't ask for this. I'm gonna go ahead and include it, but I ain't gonna tell nobody else. That's what happened. So.
All right, now I've got to head over to the courthouse. Do you have any questions for me before you head out? I think you guys are having the right debate and you're talking about the right options. Just a matter of deciding what you want to do.
Thanks, Colin.
Appreciate it,
Thank you.
Bill.
Thank you, Carl.
What do you think, Dr. King? Would you do it?
Give us some advice.
Yeah, what would you do?
Baseball guy.
Well, as I said, I would, when I build something, I would want it to build like it was supposed to be built. Now, whether you want to wait or rebid to see if you can save money or proceed on, that's really for y'all to decide. I would just advocate that if we're going to build a facility, we want it to look like it's supposed to. You got a nice new school out there and we want quality facilities for our student athletes. And so I think that, that's how I would approach it, just whether you want to consider bidding or go ahead, that's the choices.
I hate to cry poor, but do you say anything to anybody that it's really close to our budget, what we had budgeted? Or that's not business like?
You want me to make that motion?
They're right to say we did. With no change.
The only thing that I've seen in this whole project that could possibly be taken out, that was it's not a big ticket item, it's about $70,000. Is there's a barrier in the outfield, a warning barrier that lets you know when you get close to that field, running backwards. Other than that, I really didn't see anything that you could afford to take out.
See, I'm different.
Yeah. We've been
You don't
told that's
take
not
that
an
out.
This is our comment. You said you
Yeah, we
want
did.
to try.
You married Mr. But you, hey, it was on the list to me, it was on the list.
Anything else that we could, and we're really not going to a lot of extras, and that's why I was so adamant when we talked about doing the same through phases. Because I knew that the money was going to be significantly more than, it was more than I anticipated. I anticipated around 2 million. So I even missed it by $500,000.
But the price is probably up than when you talk back then now.
Well,
2x4s and everything. It's up.
this construction don't include a lot of OSB and 2x4s, and that's where big hits at anyway. But one thing that it has done is put pressure on all our contractors, so they're in demand right now. So there's no one that's really, for a better lack of, I say there's nobody really hungry out there right now for work. But this bid was done for 4 weeks ago. So the prices on rebid is not gonna change significantly as far as the increase, the labor increase. If anything, I think everybody's probably got a better feel for it, but, I can give, Joe Atlas a call and try to get a concrete in just a few minutes if I can get it, but I'm saying outside 4 weeks because the first bid took 4 weeks. And I really don't see it taking probably 4 weeks again because everything's already in line to bid. It's just a matter of posting minimums and getting it done.
I think he'll post it and give everybody a week and a half.
That's what I think too. But I said 4 weeks to be on the safe side, but everything's already in place. The addendums are in place. The pre-con has already been done. I think it's just a matter of giving everybody opportunity to comply with rules and regulations. And I personally, I feel like we'd be better off if we did. And again, that is definitely your decision, not mine.
We ready for a motion?
I suppose so.
All right. I move that we vote on whether or not we go ahead with the, what we got, or whether we rebid the project. So I move that we rebid the project. I guess that's the way it works. I vote for that for you, Mike.
Rebid it as it sits
Yes.
with the new additions to the right verbiage and the bid documents. It's a motion on the floor.
I second.
Why was the motion? I can hear it.
To rebid as
As
planned,
is.
as is.
That's to all bidders, correct? All bidders.
And Ms. Beyond second. All in favor, say aye.
I still want to discuss it for a second. What kind of timeline do we need to give them on the rebid process?
You gotta give them,
I mean, you gotta have a deadline about when it needs to come in, and that's gonna be a key as to when we set, what time we set the bid. Is that not correct?
That's what I was just telling Tim, is that normally they'll set it out there and they'll have it marked for a 2-week turnaround to turn the bids back in.
so you don't have
10
to have,
days.
you don't have to have another, pre-bid meeting. Like,
No, because that was optional. That was the
It was no
main.
mandatory.
That was a courtesy.
14 days.
So, our next board meeting is April 12th, so it would be, we won't have it by then.
We can't,
It's close.
It should be closed.
yeah, when did the bids come in, last week, is when y'all, isn't? So we can't do it until, we can't send it out until this Wednesday.
Wednesday, 7 days.
That's right. I hope it comes in lower.
So motion carries 3, was it 3 or 4?
He didn't vote.
You didn't vote.
I did.
You didn't?
All right.
Voted.
A solid vote, so yes, vote.
Okay. Motion carries 4-0, we'll rebid as planned.
Let's say somebody didn't get an A,
Yeah, you got it.
didn't get an A.
That's all we came to meet for today. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn. Bill got it, I'll second.
Here's a motion. Watson second. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay. Our next meeting will be Monday, April 12th, for a regular board meeting adjourned.
Way to expedite, y'all.
Hey, what kind of vote is that, Ben? Sustaining.
That's,
That's-
that's, you don't